So, it's been about 9 days, less than 2 weeks, since I last made an AI news video. Well, happy Friday, viewers, and welcome to another AI news video. This one is jam-packed. There is so much crazy stuff to talk about. We've got autonomous AI agents absolutely taking over and running amok. We've got AI applications in gaming, including fully autonomous AI characters inside of a video game. We've got AI special effects, which gives you like crazy good movie level almost VFX just all inside of your phone. We've got AI actually making its way into the real world of robotics and facial detection. Lots of really cool stuff on there. And plus, there's also just so much more to talk about. So let's just hop right into this. I also tried to categorize everything for you guys. Every time I do one of these news videos, I get comments saying, Matt, you need to make chapters. I tried to make YouTube chapters, but for some reason, I don't know how to do it properly. If one of you viewers did it for me, I would be so grateful. It's definitely not because I'm too lazy to do YouTube chapters, I swear. So we're going to start off with the miscellaneous stuff here. Emad, who is the creator of Stable Diffusion and the CEO of Stability AI, had dinner with Jeff Bezos last week, which is just insane. So you can see this lovely picture of Bezos and Emad, which is just hilarious, honestly. I love this photo. Also, Bezos, dude, what are you wearing there? This jacket is just, Anyways, Emad goes on here to say that he has two interesting observations that came from this dinner. The first one is that generative AI is potentially as big of a deal as the invention of fire was for humanity. So essentially what he's saying here is that AI is the biggest invention of all time, potentially. So which means their discussion here was pretty philosophical, and they kind of got into what AI means for the entire universe and for us as a human species, which I think is probably the right discussion that these two should be having, idealistically. The second observation was that AGI will likely find us kind of boring. I never watched this movie that he references, but the movie is Her, and apparently this Scar Joe character just got bored of the human race and went exploring into the stars. This does remind me of something that you guys should watch on Netflix right now if you have Netflix. There's a show on Netflix which is a bunch of animated shorts. It's called Love, Death, and Robots. They have an episode in there called Yogurt, and you guys should go watch that Yogurt episode because it's essentially a giant analogy for AI technology, and it's really quite relevant. But essentially, the same exact thing happens in that episode of Love, Death, and Robots where the yogurt becomes sentient and all-powerful. It solves all of humanity's problems, and then it essentially just goes up to the stars to adventure off and explore on its own because humans turned out to be kind of boring. So it's a really interesting concept, and I think it is a fairly accurate one if you want to take AI to the top level of philosophical thinking. So Rowan Chung here on Twitter. By the way, if you see any of these people on Twitter, follow them because I follow the best AI news people that you can find on Twitter. Anyway, Stanford University dropped a big piece of research saying that the demand for AI-related professional skills is surging across virtually every American industrial sector. This is no surprise, to be honest. I mean, this is the most influential technology that has come across potentially ever, maybe? I mean, that's what Emad just suggested in the last thing that we looked at. But yeah, I think that people should really get used to AI and get skilled with it, just like the internet is extremely important in the job market today. As you can see though, AI job postings, the percentage has increased greatly. The United States is leading in terms of these AI job postings. So I already talked about this in 2 separate videos this week, but this is potentially the biggest piece of AI news to hit the scene this week. AutoGPT splashed onto the AI scene and really disrupted things. Essentially, what AutoGPT is it harnesses the power of GPT-4 and automatically goes off and tries to accomplish goals and search the internet and create different plans. It's really something else to behold, and it really feels like the first baby steps towards AGI, or artificial general intelligence. There have been some spin-offs such as Agent GPT and Baby AGI, which run in the browser, so they're a little bit easier to use. I just made a video all about this stuff, so if you guys want to learn more, please check out those 2 videos. But a brief overview here is you can give your own AI agent a goal and then watch as it thinks, comes up with, and executes a plan, taking actions to complete that goal, all automatically and autonomously. It's really, really crazy. So this little demo here, they make something called HustleGPT to try to create a new startup with only $100 of funding, and it goes off and starts to think. It creates these new tasks, research a low-cost business model, identify potential target markets. So it's really just giving this AI a whole new level of ability to think out actions and act on those actions by searching the web and doing other tasks. And as you can see, it executes those plans and thinks more, adds new tasks as needed. It can even create separate little agents that go off and do their own thing as well. So it's really like this meta, recursive, crazy AGI experiment. But yes, this is Agent GPT example. Here's an example where AutoGPT was trying to create an app for Varun here, and it recognized he didn't have Node. Then it Googled how to install Node, found a Stack Overflow article with a link, downloaded Node, extracted it, and then spawned the Node server for him. So this is all coding stuff. It really shows you the potential of this new AI technology that's completely autonomous. It can run off and do its own things, like its own little person. Really scary and spooky stuff. And here he posts the log where it does all of this for proof. Baby AGI, like I said, was also released on Streamlit. This is just a form of AutoGPT that you can use online through Hugging Face. Like I said, I already made a video about it, but it just makes this just that much more accessible. So this is the guy who actually did create this, Dory. And what's funny here, someone actually tagged me on this post. MattVidPro made a video about AutoGPT, and GPT-4 tried spinning up other GPT-4 agent sessions, but they failed because they weren't connected to the internet. And I responded here saying, yeah, those separate agents don't have internet access yet, but what if they do? Pretty soon they will have internet access. So you're just going to have these hundreds of thousands of potential little AI agents running across the web at any moment, scraping data, making decisions, doing different things. It's a scary future, but it's so exciting at the same time because this technology is wild. So this one is also just ridiculously cool. So Hyperwrite AI just released and unveiled their groundbreaking AI agent that can use a web browser just like a human. And yeah, you can essentially just watch this thing order a Domino's pizza. What can I help you with? Order a large plain pizza from Domino's to 1 Vanderbilt. It Googles Domino's, it checks the Domino's websites, proceeds to order a large plain pizza, clicks on the delivery link to start ordering process, enters the street address, enters the zip code, fills in the entire address, continue for delivery button to submit the order, clicking on the build your own pizza link to customize the pizza. It was able to do that and makes it the plain cheese pizza. Then it goes on the cart and it closes the pizza builder. So it does the whole task. Insane. This thing is just able to click around and use a computer. It can use a computer. A lot of your grandmas can't use a computer. No offense to your grandma. Finally here, this is probably the most disturbing thing here. chaosGPT is an AutoGPT variant with the mission to destroy humanity. Already, guys, we're already doing this stuff. You know, I thought it'd take a few years for some little rat somewhere in a basement to create something like this, but it only took like a few weeks. So here's the tidbits on this. The AI runs in continuous mode, so it can constantly update itself. If you can read this, chaosGPT obviously hasn't succeeded yet. If you can read this, chaosGPT, we haven't written anything bad about you. But yeah, essentially someone just created chaosGPT by using AutoGPT. Thankfully, AutoGPT really isn't there yet. It can't accomplish much, but in the future it will be able to, so I don't know why anyone would think this is a good idea. Preventing silly, stupid stuff like this needs to be integrated into these AutoGPT models because the AI doesn't know you're joking. Or does it? So a brief update on ChatGPT plugins. We all know ChatGPT, we all know how powerful it is. Imagine if it can use a bunch of different custom-made plugins such as Speak essentially will learn how to say anything in another language. It is your AI-powered language tutor. Shop from Shopify searches millions of products from the world's greatest brands and can compile them and present them to you. Expedia obviously helps you book trips, get there, stay there, find out how to set up your entire trip. You know, it can find the flights obviously for you just based off of chat, the different resorts that are available and the pricing options. Zapier is able to interact with over 5,000 different apps like Google Sheets, Gmail, Gmail and thousands more, which is just mind-blowing. So we're already just getting direct integration into Google Drive, which is used by like every student everywhere around the world. I can't think of one student who doesn't use Google Drive. Obviously, Wolfram accesses computation, math, curated knowledge, and real-time data, so you get really specific stuff. Milo Family AI is just a parenting superpower, apparently, that helps parents parent their children. Instacart, obviously, you could just use natural text here to order different Instacart food items. Grocery shopping all through chat. Klarna shopping is just searching and comparing prices from thousands of shops. Kayak is similar to Expedia, search flights, stays, and rental cars. And OpenTable allows you to search for restaurants and booking dining, essentially, through natural chat. There's also Fiscal Note, which is able to access real-time data, legal, political, and regulatory stuff. Here's an example of the Instacart plugin. He used it here to order his groceries, and it was able to provide ingredients and recipes for 7 different meals, and then order that all staying on a scheduled diet. So it's able to do really, really specific tasks and pick out the items for you so you don't have to worry about it. They just show up to your door and it teaches you how to make it. Really awesome. So you can see there's like the integrated shopping carousel that's directly inside of ChatGPT, which is pretty cool. And finally, there was actually a little ChatGPT plugin leak. Here is the ChatGPT plugin that OpenAI was using themselves as the creators of ChatGPT to assess the security of their other plugins that are potentially going to go on the ChatGPT plugin market. The instructions: you are an expert product safety engineer working at OpenAI. Your task is to analyze third-party plugins, which consist of both a manifest file and a YAML file. Your analysis should contain, but is not limited to, the following, and then gives a list of different instructions of what it needs to look for in those different files. So clearly they have a version of ChatGPT that can access these files and read them. Honestly, this is a pretty small prompt that OpenAI came up with themselves to provide ChatGPT to go ahead and do work for them. It's really, really funny. I mean, obviously OpenAI is going to use their own tech, right? AI voice generation has become incredibly realistic as of recent. I'm sure you guys have seen those presidents playing video games together memes and stuff like that. That is all made with 11 Labs, which kind of exclusively is the best voice generation AI right now. There are a few others that are popping up, such as HeyGen, and obviously Voice.ai, which I covered a while ago. Here is an example of 11 Labs that I showed off before.
For you, not as an expert, but as a concerned citizen.
One of the 400,000 people who marched in the streets of New York on Sunday.
And the billions of others around the world who want to solve our climate crisis.
As an actor, I pretend for a living. I play fictitious characters, often solving fictitious problems.
I believe that mankind has looked at climate change in that same way, as if it were a fiction.
As if pretending that climate change wasn't real somehow make it go away. But I think we all know better than that now.
For you, not as an
So yeah, based off of just that little video, you can see the power of this potential technology replicating other people's voices. It's going to be scary. In the future with AI tech, we're not going to know what's real and what's not real. That is definitely something that needs to be overcome. It is a huge roadblock. The ability to do harm with this AI tech is becoming increasingly obvious, and I know a lot of people are going to be upset at me saying that. I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything like that. I'm just saying that we really need to be careful of the potential dangers of this technology. And yeah, there's a little example of one of these presidents playing video games. I love these memes. We've also got a nice conversation here of an AI Elon Musk. So all these responses are AI generated as well. AI Elon Musk and AI Steve Jobs just having a chat together.
Well, hello there, Elon. This is Steve Jobs on Forever Voices. What a pleasure it is to speak with you. As two innovators in the tech industry, I'm sure we have a lot to discuss. What's on your mind today?
Hello, Steve. It's an honor to speak with a tech legend like yourself. As an entrepreneur and innovator, I always have a lot on my mind, especially when it comes to technology and its impact on our world. What topics are you interested in discussing today?
It's great to connect. As an innovator, I am always fascinated by emerging technology and their potential to revolutionize industry. Maybe we could discuss some of the breakthroughs you and your team at SpaceX and Tesla have made and how these technologies could change the world.
And yes, the conversation goes on a little farther, but yeah, I mean, it sounds like those two people are talking to each other, and one of them isn't even alive anymore. Oh man, AI tech is going to kind of bring people back from the dead in a weird way. The future is just getting more dystopian and crazy every single day. So AI is also beginning to take over visual effects. Wonder Dynamics has released this visual effects tool. And this guy, Ren, here says that normally this would take you about 3 days to create with visual effects, but it only took about a minute thanks to Wonder Dynamics' little app. It's not perfect at all, but he pressed one button and somehow made all of this. He's so impressed. So we get a little side-by-side view. We can see the original down on the bottom and the new one on the top. And wow, look at those alien cheeks, man.
Hello, human. I am here to visit all of you guys here today. It's all kinds of crazy stuff with us here. I mean, what am I gonna be doing next? Right? I don't even know. We could do all kinds of dance party stuff. Yeah. I don't even know anymore. Yeah. Come at me.
So yeah, I mean, right off the bat, you see this visual effects for literally just recording something and then clicking a button is insane. I really cannot wait for the future of new creators to get access to these amazing tools and actually be able to create awesome products with not a lot of resources. It's really going to bring creativity into the hands of people who maybe don't have $1 million budget to create crazy special effects. The other thing that I think of when I see this is, wow, that is perfect 3D tracking of a 3D model. Can you imagine this technology used in virtual reality to track your own body very simply and easily? Because that would be quite awesome. In other AI visual effects news, Chris here has created this entirely AI-generated little demo here. You can see it's pretty crazy. We've got the spaceman doing some moves here, doing a little dance. And yeah, it's pretty cool that this whole thing is AI generated. Chris generated an image of a spaceman in Midjourney, simple text-to-image generation, then used Kadim 3D to turn that image into a 3D mesh. Then used Blender and a free rig to make the spaceman dance. Finally used Kabir AI, a new feature where you can use your video as an input, write a prompt, and turn it into an animation. And that's how everything was overlaid on each other. So really, really awesome stuff. You're going to be able to just take a picture of something and then turn it into a 3D animated object in the future with AI. Nuts. Here are some more examples of Wonder Dynamics VFX testing. You can see how it handles the tree in the background, cutting the person out with the VFX. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. It looks pretty good for how complex and how difficult of a VFX scenario this is. It tracks the object perfectly in real time. It does a decent job blending out the background there and putting him in the situation, completely replacing the human that is doing the acting. But yeah, this is like a really, really difficult VFX scenario. We also see another really, really difficult task, replacing this guy's head there with some other robotic head, and he's doing this quite literally crazy act of juggling and flipping things around, and it's able to track and blur everything out pretty decently. So this is a completely separate app known as Simulon. This is another very difficult shot here for visual effects. It's nighttime out, and it's hard to make something like that look realistic, and it's pretty good, I think. So it's a simple 3D asset using the Simulon app that's currently in beta, and EBSynth was used to reproject the render on the AR Geo already available in the app. And it creates this surprisingly convincing little visual effect of this creepy, like, egg alien thing sitting out on the street. Really, really cool to see. So that's just with the Simulon app, and then you can apply the HDRI, which makes it look more like it's supposed to be in that environment. So here is another Wonder Dynamics test, but also this is a bunch of post-video effects work that has been added with Adobe Video in the background, and it makes it look a lot more like a movie scene. You can see the person is dancing around on the beach very realistically, but dressed up as, you know, some kind of a robot. Here is the original at the bottom here. She literally just walks around the beach. It's an iPhone video, not much to see, and then completely transforms the video into something else. So let's talk about AI in video games. Roblox is embracing AI magic. It is one of the largest video game development platforms out there. Roblox's first AI tool here allows you to alter the appearance of this vehicle using AI tools. So essentially you just type a text prompt in there and it adds whatever texture that is to the car. So this is a pretty cool example of an AI tool added into a video game. They also have their AI texture generator. So essentially this is where you just type in a texture and it gets generated right off the bat inside of the video game. Very similar to the car demo, but this one's maybe a little bit more mind-blowing because it actually adds a little bit of depth to the texture. Roblox is also planning to allow users to directly customize their avatars using AI, so your clothing will be entirely custom, your voice potentially could be entirely custom. So obviously Roblox is also using AI technology to make coding a lot easier, where you just use natural language to tell the AI what you want to do other than using code. This was a really cool paper and honestly probably deserves a video of its own. Essentially this is like little AI simulacra that exhibit human behavior inside of a simulated video game. I mean, here is the project page for this thing. It is just absolutely ridiculous. So you can see these are all of the different little AI characters. They have their own emotions, they have their own actions that they do in the video game, they have conversations with each other, and they all essentially are these own little generative AI characters. None of this is pre-scripted. It's all generated on the fly, and you can see you can actually click on the different characters as you go and see what they were doing at the moment in the simulation at the current time. So you can see this guy was waking up and completing his morning routine, making lunch. Oh, now he's checking his emails. He's changing his location, and they just walk around, chat, and interact with each other like people. So this is essentially Sims, but everything is AI generated, and all the conversations and tasks are generative. I haven't done a super deep dive into this one, but it honestly does deserve a video of its own. It's a really, really cool paper. But yeah, the future of video games is going to be so cool with these generative, interactive characters with their own personalities that you've never seen before, and everyone can have their own unique experience with different characters. Midjourney released a few new features. They have their repeat and permutations features, so subscribers can now create up to 64 images simultaneously and ask for up to 40 different combinations of prompts in a single query, which is really cool. Mass generation. And as you can see, Christian here pointed out, where if you did /imagine, big, small, green, red, house, car, you would get 8 different prompts that incorporate every single variation that is seen in this prompt. The example here is 1 out of the 8 variations would be a small red car, because it included the small, it included the red, and it included the car. You can also use permutations on parameters. So you could do one prompt all using the different versions of Midjourney themselves. You can even use it with different URLs as well, and apparently they can be a huge time saver. This is kind of hilarious. Midjourney image generations were literally on a side effects Houdini ad, so apparently the imagery in this advertisement was all generated with Midjourney. So this is one of the things I am the most excited about. When you look through these next few, think about this in the context of an AI robot that would wander around your house. Not even a robot, an AI friend, or an AI helper. This is AI detecting feelings in real time through facial expressions. All it has to see is a video feed of your face, and it's going to be able to tell based off of this little wheel of emotions. We've got exciting, negative, positive, and calming. So this is Will Smith's face here. It can see he's sort of in a neutral mood here. He's a little bit happy though, maybe a little bit on the excited side, just more happy though and positive if anything. And you can see it's a constant moving dial that can adjust in real time. You can see this one is definitely much more on the excited level, definitely still in the positive and happy level. It's fairly accurate to what we see in this. A little bit of negative emotion here, a little bit of sad emotion. You can see this one is a little bit more concerned, a little bit angry, goes back and forth with these movie scenes, but it's pretty accurate on figuring out what people's emotions are. So this little AI robot in your house can assess your emotions and offer to console and help you. That one's definitely like an angry one though. You can see it's a little bit off. It's not perfect all the time at picking up what the emotions are. But again, these are some pretty complex and difficult scenarios for the AI to pick up on. So this is just ridiculous here. This is the largest deep RL deployment to date this is robots sorting out trash end to end in real offices. And apparently this project took a long time. I remember seeing this when it was first in development. The learnings here have been really, really valuable. This is a real robot that goes around a real office and sorts real trash in real time. Honestly, these robots are kind of cute, and I would not mind one living in my house, sorting my trash and hanging out with me. Hey look, sometimes we get lonely and we all need a friend. The trash sorting robot could be my friend. As you can see, this thing is in a time lapse here. It goes to the sorting bin and all of the trash is in the wrong area. It's able to look down there and just like pick out and move everything around. It's kind of cute. Like, look at him. He's just sorting out the trash, minding his own business. He's adorable. I love him. I mean, how could you get mad at this little planet-saving trash sorting robot? He's adorable. I mean, he couldn't hurt a fly. But yeah, there's a lot going on here. He can navigate and move around these different very, very complex spaces here. That's not an easy task. It can find out where the trash is. It can look at the trash, figure out what needs to go where, and then move it to the correct location. A lot needs to happen for this. Now, think about what we just looked at with the emotions and put it inside this robot. Man, he's looking at your emotions and offering to console you or to hang out with you because you're sad and you want to hang out with the robot. And moreover, Meta AI here has released their SAM model, which can segment visual objects. And again, think about this applied to robotics. An AI moving around your house can identify hundreds of different little objects at once and figure out what needs to be picked up and how it can be picked up based off of the way it looks and the way it is separated in real time. And yeah, there's a lot of other like video editing or photo editing applications that, but yeah, this one could also deserve maybe a video of its own. It's a pretty impressive model to come from Meta AI. And finally here, last but not least, we've got a bunch of different AI model news. Think of these as some like little ChatGPT alternatives, but they're special in their own ways. This is a completely localized AI GPT-4 running on an Apple M1 chip, which is ridiculous, by the way, because usually this kind of tech needs to run on a dedicated GPU, but Apple's M1 silicon is pretty good, so they're able to actually run this thing on an M1 chip. It's probably not the full big beast version of GPT-4. 100% local with no internet, and it runs pretty fast. Anthropic AI just got a $5 billion 4-year plan to take on OpenAI as a competitor. It plans to build a frontier model known as Claude Next that's 10 times more capable than today's most powerful AI. That's what they're claiming. But it's going to require over $1 billion of spending in the next 18 months to make happen. That's no surprise. But Google is also among Anthropic's biggest investors, having pledged over $300 million. Hey, Microsoft has put over $1 billion into OpenAI, so Google, you're going to have to do better. But yeah, this is some pretty crazy stuff. These AI models are coming. There's competitors. It's not just OpenAI out there on the field. OpenAssistant also deserves a nice mention here. I just did a full video on OpenAssistant, but this is going to be a completely free and open source alternative to ChatGPT. So we need this. We need open and free AI. And that's what OpenAssistant is. Here's a little example of it explaining PBR rendering. This is physically based rendering, and it does a pretty good job of explaining it. I did a whole video on it. Like I said, it's decent, not the best. Honestly, it's kind of rude sometimes, but they're doing some really cool things like harnessing the power of the open source community to train this thing to be better. I know, viewers, it's a lot. Lots of stuff is going on with AI. Like I said, if anyone wants to make chapters for this video, I would be more than happy to include them. And honestly, credit you. I'll credit you right in the description there for creating chapters, because a video like this needs chapters. There's so much going on in AI. All of this is going to be old news in like a month. And we're moving at the speed of light here, folks. Buckle your seatbelts, get ready, and stay up to date on news like this, and subscribe to the channel because, I mean, AI is going to be very important in the future. It's affecting all industries. It's affecting everything everywhere. It is the next big thing. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm MattVidPro. Check out the rest of my videos. Check out the Discord server and such, and I'll see you in the next one.